now bring in the Senate Majority Leader, Professor Kithure Kindiki, to just shed some more light on that particular piece of business today in the Senate. Welcome to us, sir.
Thank you.
Now, what exactly does your motion seek to achieve? I mean, we've seen Sudan is not a member of the ICC, but President al-Bashir is still a fugitive.
Sudan is not a member of the ICC. The indictment of President al-Bashir is on the basis of warrants of arrest as a result of the referral of that situation by the UN Security Council. The UN Security Council is a political process. That means for a country, if our country withdraws as we have proposed, it should, and we have no apologies to make, it means the only route left if there are crimes against humanity is we must punish those crimes ourselves, and that is the best case scenario. In the alternative, we are willing to go through a political process because the ICC has become a political court, which is the Security Council route. We will deal with those politics rather than pretend there is a legal process through the Rome Statute that our country can be using going forward.
Now, there's something Kenyans have been interrogating. We formed, or rather Kenya formed, or joined the ICC, joined the Rome Statute, signed the Rome Statute so that we can be able to solve issues that, like what happened in 2007. Now, a few years down the line, we want to withdraw. What happens if, God forbid, the country was to go through what happened in 2007, 2008?
What happens is that next time we will punish whoever orchestrates crimes against humanity and massive human rights violations in our country. I also want to inform Kenyans, we are not the first country to do what we are intending to do. America did it. In fact, they signed it and withdrew their signature 2 years later. And the reasons that the President of the United States used to pull America out of the Rome Statute are the same reasons I advanced today when I was moving the motion for Kenya's withdrawal.
Now, just a couple of years ago, Parliament, you were not a part of that Parliament, they said don't be vague, go to The Hague, because apparently the Kenyan judicial system was not good enough to deal with such cases. What has changed so much in the local judiciary that we think now we can deal with such cases?
The fact that Kenyan leaders made a mistake does not mean that mistake cannot be corrected. So it's an irrelevant argument to say that the fact that the 10th Parliament committed to a serious neglect of duty by exposing our country to the kind of humiliation we are seeing now in a foreign country does not mean that the 11th Parliament should also perpetuate that kind of negligence. Two, what has changed? In fact, so much has changed that recently when a vote was taken by 13 judges of the International Criminal Court just last week, 9 of them actually said those cases should be brought to Kenya, and they said the judiciary has reformed, there is capacity to prosecute, and the only 4 judges, because there were 13, and none of them was a Kenyan, because the only Kenyan judge who is there could not participate. The 13 of them that voted in the negative explained actually they were swayed in the last minute by a letter written by a single Kenyan. No. So a lot has changed, and if the white people out there in the ICC, the judges themselves are saying our institutions have changed, it defeats logic that we Kenyans are the ones, some of us even opposing and saying that we don't have a strong judiciary.
No, we've seen what happened in the Senate today. We have seen a lot of opposition from the CORD coalition. They boycotted that sitting today, citing fears that they will put Kenya in bad light internationally. Now, we've seen a lot of Jubilee members of Parliament going to The Hague to be in solidarity with Deputy President William Ruto. We have seen this push to withdraw from the ICC has been largely fronted by your coalition. Isn't this just because it is Deputy President William Ruto and President Uhuru Kenyatta?
Not really. First of all, walking out of the house is a cowardly act. What our brothers and sisters should have done would have to remain in the house and vote no and oppose my motion. Walking out is a defeatist attitude. And the fact that you are losing a motion doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Even as I expect at some point, we may have to lose a motion when we don't have numbers. So this idea of walking out and shouting at each other is a bad culture. Number two, I think For those who have traveled to be with the Deputy President, I think is within their right. But as you have seen also, the numbers are modest. Like for us in the Senate, we actually had intended only 4 senators to go, and we'll be sending maybe 2-3 senators every week, and only for actually very few days, 2 to 3 days, so that we don't paralyze the work in the Senate. So I think there is nothing too much to read from this. And
if it was someone else who is not a member of Jubilee, would Jubilee front this motion to withdraw from the ICC?
Any Kenyan, and we kept on emphasizing, and if you look at my motion, I've referred to the 3 citizens of Kenya who are charged before the ICC, and that includes Joshua Arap Sang. As to the question whether politicians would have traveled to support Joshua Sang, if the other politicians were not there, I am not so sure. But the example I'll give is this. When a wizard dies, that funeral will be full of wizards. When a businessman has a function, the many people in that function are likely to be businessmen. So when a politician has an issue affecting them, it's natural. You expect politicians to hang around there and give moral support.
Thank
to
you, Prof.
Follow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure.
Thank you. Talking to the Senate Majority Leader, Professor Kithure Kindiki, just shedding more light on that Senate motion which was passed to withdraw from the ICC.